Hi guys, I'm Becky, my channel is What Beck Sews. Welcome back if you're a subscriber and welcome if you're new. Today we're going to talk about Make 9 and what I did last year and what I have in store for this year. So you can go ahead and skip forward if you don't want to see last year's results, but if you do, stick around and then I will get into how that's led me on to my choices for this year. So what I'm going to do is pop the grid up for you so you can see exactly what it is I got made. I have it on my screen in front of me so I can go through with you in order of what I did and what I didn't. I can tell you now, I didn't get a lot done from last year. So Make 9 is a personal challenge to yourself to come up with 9 different things that you want to create, and it could be in any form. Most people tend to go with patterns or they go with fabric that they want to get used up out their stash. But either way, the idea behind it is to inspire you to make things and sometimes take yourself out of your comfort zone as well. So I had put on there 9 items last year. I went with patterns. I did it very much the traditional method. I think I'd achieved 5 the year before from my Make 9, not quite fully succeeded. And this year I have only achieved 2. There are valid reasons behind some of this, but I've also worked out that the Make 9 in the traditional format probably doesn't work for me as best as it could. So what you see in the top left-hand corner is the Rose Cafe bustier. Now this is simply something that I do want to make. It's still very much a pattern I want to make. But over the last year, I have changed body shape and gained a bit of weight due to giving up smoking. So as a result of that, when it got to Christmas, I just was not in a place to make that dress with as fitted nature that it is. I would not have felt comfortable. So it's not to say that this one won't get made at some point, but it certainly won't until I feel more comfortable in my own skin. The next one along is the Heather Blazer. Now the Heather Blazer is a pattern by Friday Pattern Company, and if you watch my channel regularly you will know that I am actually in the process of making this up at the moment. So hopefully this will be finished in the next couple of weeks. Obviously it doesn't account for last year's Make 9, but it is one that I can go back and go, I have actually checked that off my list, and the idea behind it was I wanted to learn a new technique and make a blazer with lining. The last one is the last one on the top line is the Arianna Sundress by Style Arc. Now this, I do love this pattern. I like the shape of it. I like the style of it. I love every version that I have seen of this pattern. I am not going to lie. But I did lots of research before making it. And when I cut out the pattern pieces, I cut it out in a size smaller than I already am. Part of that is because my own experience of Style Arc patterns is that I need to size down. So my measurements tend to put me in a size 14, but 9 times out of 10 I need to make a 12 to get the fit right on me, and I did that this time following some reviews that I'd seen on it, and it was far too small. I felt like I was having a wonder bra moment, and I was just very uncomfortable as I've made the top part, so that one went in the bin. But the problem with that was I had bought the pattern in a paper format, and I didn't have, it wasn't PDF, I couldn't just reprint it. I am not a tracer. I hate tracing patterns. I would rather cut, which is why I buy the majority of my patterns in PDF form. But I think I'd arranged for this one to be bought for me as a present for some reason or another, so that's why. So at some point I may buy this pattern again because I really do want to make it, and I'll just cut it in the right size and go from there. I may even attempt to trace the pattern out, but I might have to buy it in PDF format to enable me to just cut into the paper. So yeah, that's on my list of things to do, to look at repurchasing this pattern and maybe do that for this summer. The next one on my list, in the middle line on the left hand side, is the Sagebrush top by Friday Pattern Company. This is quite a well-known pattern and a favourite within the sewing community. It's a very simple, straightforward beginner pattern. It's got mixed reviews in the sense of those sleeves, but I think that's where fabric choice really comes into it. If you want the big puffy sleeves, you go for a cotton lawn or structured fabric poplin, but if you want that sort of flowy, drapey look, you would go for a viscose. And a viscose poplin is also a really good option in this because you've got a bit of a mix. There's a little bit more body to that fabric. Now I made this up in a viscose satin and I like it, but I don't love it. I have only worn this twice this year. I'll pop a picture in here of the make and when I actually wore it. I think I wore it when I was out with our American colleagues, and I did like it. It's just not something I reach for in my wardrobe. It's not something that I'm drawn to, so it's probably not something that will get a lot of wear out and may end up being rehomed, but I did make it and I can check it off of my Make 9. The next one on the list is the Alex shirt by Sew Over It. Now this is one of the patterns that came in their ebook. I think it was the City Break ebook. I really love the look of this pattern. I've seen lots of different versions of it made up and it's lovely. I've actually gone as far as to cut the pattern out in my size and prepare it. I just haven't made it up, and it has been included in plans across the year, but for some reason there's something stopping me making it and I'm not sure what it is. That takes us into the final one on the middle line, and that is the Nina Lee Carmel jumpsuit. Now I made this up last year. I absolutely love the version that I made last year, but I knew that to get it right, perfect fit, I wear this, but I needed to make a few tweaks to it just to make it a little bit more comfortable to wear. Hasn't stopped me wearing the other one. And that's why I put it on this list, and I just haven't had a chance. I've had too many shiny patterns out there that have made me not make this, because I needed to get it reprinted and then make some adjustments to it. So that's a simple reason. On the bottom line, I do have them down here if you wonder why I keep looking. On the bottom line, I have the Sew Over It Eve dress. Now the Sew Over It Eve dress is a lovely pattern. It's a wrap style. It's one that I know that suits or will suit me very well. Wrap dresses, open necklines always look okay on me. Well, look great on me. Not okay. They look great on me. They are something that suits my figure and my body shape quite well. So why have I not made this? I've just not had an occasion that I've needed to make one to wear. It's definitely one that I would probably wear as a more dressy affair. So if I was going to a party or a function of some kind, wedding, something like that. Not one that I'd wear to work. It's not a casual dress, I wouldn't say. So I bought the pattern. I bought it at the beginning of the year when I devised my Make 9, but it's one that I definitely need to make up when I have an occasion to wear it too. And I don't think I'm likely to have anything like that come up anytime soon. I am going on holiday hopefully later this year, so maybe it could be something I could take away with me when I go abroad. The next one on the list is the Myosotis dress by Deer and Doe Patterns. Now this one hasn't been made, and I don't think it will get made because my styling has changed, and the more and more I look at this pattern, and every time I've got it out, I've stopped myself from cutting it out purely because of the shape. Just doesn't feel like a me shape. So that's why it's as simple as that. And the final one is a McCalls pattern. It's a dress that's quite well known in the sewing community. Again, I feel it's one that would probably suit my body shape. I think I'd need to size down to get it right. But I just never fancied making it last year. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. So it's not to say that it's not going to get made up. I do have this pattern in my stash. It's just not one that I think I am going to make up anytime soon. So that's last year's Make 9. You can see that there are lots of things there that make me switch and change my mind as to whether I want to make them. And there are some mitigating factors as to why I haven't made others, or I've started others and not completed them. So I would say that Make 9 last year was not a success for me. It was one of those that I probably needed to give some careful consideration to why, which I have done, and what it is that is going to make this year's Make 9 successful. So with that in mind, I have gone off and looked at what it is I want to do. And I've come up with something slightly different. Now, I've drawn inspiration to come up with my Make 9 from several different areas. So I have taken my inspiration from fellow vloggers in the community already that have shared their Make 9 plans with the world. The lovely Ruth, who is seamstress on here and on Instagram, she has come up with some a great alternative. She's come up with 5 patterns that intimidate her, which I think is a lovely idea. Adele from Sew for Serenity has gone for fabrics, as is Liz the baker that sews, and then Michelle, who is the sewing bunny, has gone with very similar format to last year, but she's thrown a couple of things in there that aren't garment making, and I really, really like that style. Sam from Sequin Girly Creates, I think she's done exactly the same as what Adele did the year before, where it was just going on sewing techniques, and again, completely different style. So what have I come up with? So I've broken mine down into 3 different lines, taking inspiration from Michelle there. And on the first line, I have gone with things that I'd like to make. So these are garments that I'd like to make, but I haven't attached a pattern to them. And I've deliberately not done that because I know that I want to achieve these things this year, but I know that my style may change over the year and I still need to find the perfect style. You'll understand what one of them is if you watched last Sunday's vlog where I talked about how I get inspiration for the things that I make. Doing some of those steps has really helped me find the garments that I want to make this year. So the first thing that I have on my list is activewear. Now I am back at the gym, I am back exercising again. I really want to get myself back to the height of fitness. My immune system's finally starting to recover from the problems that I've had over the last couple of years. I have given up smoking, which has made a huge change to my fitness. And I am finding that, and I obviously want to lose weight, so I am finding that I am reaching for my activewear a lot more. And I've never made me-made activewear. So activewear is number one on my list. And what that looks like, I don't know. I do have the Hubie leggings from Sew Over It in my pattern stash. I had that printed, I think, last year. And I'm desperate to make them up, and I think this would be a good opportunity to make some exercise leggings. I have got some fabric, I think, in my stash that I bought from Pound Fabrics a couple of years ago. That would be a good fabric to certainly toile this in until I find a fabric that I feel is really structured for activewear. So if you've got any great places to buy activewear fabrics, please let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. The next one along, and this is where my inspiration vlog last week will come into it and you'll understand what I mean, is a coat. So I haven't specified a pattern because I genuinely don't know what I want to go for, but I do want to make outerwear. Now I'm hoping that this will be something I'll tackle in the next coming months, but if not, it'll get pushed into the back end of the year. But I don't really have many coats. I purchased one on my shopping trip when I finally found one that fit me perfectly and it was too much to resist. But that's the only actual coat I own apart from a gilet thing that I wear when I'm walking the dog out. Because it's just not something I'm drawn to, but I know if I actually made one myself, it would be something that I very much wear all the time. The last one on the grid is knickers. So this is a garment that I've got lots of scrap jersey. I don't know which knicker. I might go for several knicker patterns. I've seen a couple of different ones that I quite like. I think there's one by Wardrobe by Me that I really like the look of. But it's essential, it's comfy, and actually it's one of those that I think once you've made it once or twice, it's one that you could quite happily repeat make, and I do like a repeat make. I get quite a lot of satisfaction from my jersey makes, and I feel that this would help me clear up my scraps. It would certainly just give me something that I could go back to that would become a tried and true, and I'm always going to need. And I can pick various different styles of them as well, because I have various different styles. Not that you need to know about my underwear. So that's the third one across the top. So that is my top grid. They are garments that I'd like to make that I have never made before. I have picked ones that I have not made, not got any experience of, so they would be in a new experience of learning new techniques for me. So inspiration there came from Adele's last year. The next line is specific patterns. So this goes back to the more traditional Make 9 challenge. So these are patterns that I know that I want to get made up this year. These are things that I knew that I wanted to make, but I've gone out and found some patterns that I've perhaps wanted to make over the last couple of years and I keep going to, but haven't got around to making them, or that I've been looking for that perfect pattern for me. So the first one is a dressing gown pattern, and I have had a really good look around at different types of dressing gown patterns to find that perfect one for me. And this one is by Sew Me Something, and it is, I can't see the name on the pattern, but this, I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see, is just gorgeous. It's got slightly dropped shoulder, it just looks nice and relaxed, very comfortable. It will be quite an easy and straightforward pattern, but I think that I want to make 2 of these this year. And the reason I'm saying 2 is because in my head, I'd like to have a nice summer one that I can put on that's probably made in a nice floaty viscose, but then I'd like to have one going into the winter months that's a bit warmer and a bit more snuggly. I do love a dressing gown. I do wear it around the house quite a lot. in the evenings, because I get quite cold in the evenings. I think I've mentioned this on my channel if you've been watching me for a while, how cold I do get. This is perfect for me just to drape over myself and keep me nice and warm, and in the summer to have that lovely elegance of a house coat. So that's the first pattern that's on my list. The second pattern is the Made for Mermaids Winnie trousers. Now I love these. I've seen these about a little bit in the sewing community recently, and I do really want to make sort of like a loungewear set, because again, I live in loungewear sets when I'm at home, and I think these trousers are a nice elevated version of that. It's got a lovely seam down the front that almost looks like piping, and you can have it in shorts as well, so it'd be great for the summer. So it'd be a versatile pattern for me, but it's a wider leg comfy jogger. But you could probably make these in a different material, and it will give you a different look to it, one that will maybe fit in your wardrobe a little bit more. So I got visions of maybe pairing this with sort of like an oversized top, maybe the LB sweater by Paper Theory or something along those lines. So that is my second pattern. The third pattern is the Peppermint Magazine's wide leg trousers. Now these have been about in the community for quite a while. I've never made a fitted pair of trousers, and that's the pure reason these are on here. And I was struggling for choice about what I wanted to make. I could either go for the I Am Sunshine trousers that are more geared up towards denim jean style trousers. Well, I do wear jeans, I do wear high-waisted jeans, but I like a wide leg, and I think the peppermint trousers look perfect for that. So I've put that on there. I have got the pattern. I've even got the pattern printed, because I looked at this at one point this year, but it would really help me build on my skill set in making a fitted pair of trousers. And I know, knowing my body shape and the fact that I have a nice tiring down that part of my body, that would make this more complicated, and I'd learn an awful lot. Now the third strip of my Make 9, and this is the unique part, I think, of my Make 9, and rather than coming up with a pattern or coming up with a piece of fabric, I have come up with a person. Now I am traditionally a very selfish sewer, so I thought that this year I would have theoretically it is 4 people, but 3 people in mind to make something for that isn't for myself. So the first person is my wonderful dad. Now my dad is a very, very large man, and he struggles to find clothes that fit him, and I know he does. So I am going to look to make him something, and it will probably be a top or a sweater pattern of some style, or a granddad shirt if I can even find one in his size, because he does love a granddad shirt. But yeah, my dad is first on that list, just to make a garment for him. The next person, of course, had to be my lovely Scott. So Scott is my partner. He's been my partner for 7 years, and I have made him a couple of bits in the past, but not much. And he does live in t-shirts and long sleeve tees, and I'd really like to be able to make him one, because even if it isn't a success, then he can wear it for work, and that'll be perfect, instead of him destroying his normal clothes. So he is second on my list. And then the third, which I know is a cheeky one because there's 2 people in the picture, but it is for both my girls. I would like to make more for them this year, and that is simply what it is. My challenge to myself is to make more for both my girls, and I thought that this would be a nice twist on the Make 9, to be able to make things for other people, especially when I am a selfish sewer. So it'd be really nice to see if those that I've set myself with a bit of freedom, a little bit of plans, and a little bit of more freedom gives me the oomph that I need to actually make up my Make 9. Let's see what happens. Watch this space, and I will check back in with you in the middle of the year. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch me today. If you like this content, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see how my Make 9 continues, do that too, because I will share this later on in the year as we go forward. And I share my makes on a weekly basis when I talk about my plans and my sewing makes on a Friday Sews. I hope you all have a fantastic week. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye.